Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is speaking to the media today, a day after ending his party supply confidence agreement with the Liberals. And right now, he joins us live in studio. Mr. Singh, welcome and thank you for taking time to speak with us. Let's start with this, the obvious. Why pull out of this deal now? What was the breaking point? And, as they say, timing is everything.
Well, it's something we've been thinking about since the beginning. We always knew there would be a moment where we would break up, where we'd pull out of this agreement. We got a lot done. We got the dental care, pharmacare, really important laws around protecting workers, like the anti-scab legislation. So we got things done. And it became really clear to me that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals were too closely connected to corporate interests, too beholden to corporate interest to take on some of the big challenges of the day, the high price of groceries, the high price of rent that are being driven up by corporate greed. So we knew there's also a big fight of the Conservatives who are threatening to cut our healthcare and pensions. Given all that, we said, time to tear up the agreement, and we're ready for the election whenever it happens. So
yesterday, we spoke with former NDP leader Tom Mulcair, who says that he would have never entered into this supply and confidence deal in the first place. What regrets do you have, and do you think that you could have achieved the same gains with dental care and pharmacare without this?
When I think about this agreement, I think about two people, and it always comes back to my mind. I think of these two people. I think about Brianna and Susan, who insists I call her Sue. Brianna is a mom of 5 kids. Each of her 5 kids got to see a dentist for the first time in their life. I met them in Edmonton at a playground, and I can tell you her kids are happier and healthier because of this program. And Sue, she's a senior, fixed income, survived a cancer, lost her teeth, and I was in the dentist's office with her when she broke down in tears of joy when the dentist and the denturist said they're going to get her smile back. That's what I did this for. And they both need more, though. And it became clear to me that Justin Trudeau is not willing to do what's necessary to help lower the cost of their groceries or their rent. And so that's why we broke the agreement.
But do you think that you could have achieved that without the agreement?
I think that what we achieved required time. And it was something that required some time to make it happen. And now we've seen after 2 years, we got some stuff done. But now we've torn up this agreement with Justin Trudeau because we're ready for whenever election comes to put the choice to Canadians. Conservative cuts with Poilievre or hope with New Democrats.
Okay, and that is the next question because we are entering political uncertainty. How will Canadians benefit from this?
Well, we've said that we'll take any vote that comes on its own merit and decide what's in the best interest for Canadians. But we know that an election is in the horizon. It's going to come now or sooner. Whenever it comes, the choice will be between who can replace Justin Trudeau. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives want to cut your pensions, cut your health care. We want to build it up, make sure it's there for you when you need it. They want to let corporations rip you off and make even more money off of you. We want to lower the cost of your rent and the cost of your groceries. That's the choice in the next election.
Okay. Speaking of, your poll numbers, they haven't been that great. Some political analysts, not me, are saying that you're handing the election to Pierre Poilievre. What's your response?
I would say this is a fight. There's no doubt about it. There's a big fight in front of us. And the fight is the vision for our country. And I put it in those strong words. And the vision of what we want to do for our future. Do we want to go to Conservatives who we know are going to cut? They're going to cut and gut the things that people need. And they're not going to stop big corporations ripping you off. Or do we go towards building up the things we need, a strong pension, strong healthcare system, and stop these corporations that are ripping off people? That's a choice I'm ready to put to Canadians.
Along those lines, sometimes we have to do some things that we don't want to do in order to achieve goals. Are you open to forming an alliance with the Conservatives in order to achieve certain gains?
The challenge with the Conservatives is we have nothing in common. They want to tear down healthcare. They want to cut pensions. They want to let corporations rip people off. These are fundamentally things I oppose. So there's nothing I see that they want to do that is in line with us. They want to give their corporate buddies more power. We want to make sure people get lower grocery prices. It's just we're not in alignment on anything.
Okay, just a couple of hours ago, you were speaking to the media. You said that Trudeau is too beholden to corporate interests. Can you please explain that, elaborate, if you will, and, also talk about the Conservatives and how basically they're going to be in the same boat?
Yeah, I think they both are very similar in that way. I would say for the Liberals example, Justin Trudeau's example, the food prices have gone up over the past 2 years and outpaced general inflation. And the response to that after 2 years was to say, oh, you should check out your grocery flyers for deals. It was pretty insulting. There's a whole press conference, and that was the response. And then they said, we're going to ask these CEOs nicely to stabilize prices. That didn't happen either. It became really clear that they're not willing to do what's necessary, put in place real measures to stop these guys from ripping us off. It also was made even more clear when they forced the workers in the railroads, the CN and CPKC, they forced binding arbitration. Instead of letting the workers be able to negotiate a fair deal on their own, they took the side of the big corporations against the workers. So more and more examples are coming clear where the Liberals are too beholden to these large, powerful interests to actually stand up for people who are feeling like their corporate landlord is jacking up their rent or the corporate grocery store is jacking up the price of groceries.
Okay, so this is a two-part question. Corporations, they are crucial, essential to a stable, a healthy economy. How do you plan to work with them to, these big corporations, to strike a fair balance, something that's equitable for them as well as, Canadians? And then when it comes to saving money on groceries and rent, let's hear some concrete examples. And what do those savings actually amount to?
Sure. I would say right now the balance is skewed in favor of big corporations. They are able to get away with doing things like fixing the price of bread. And they made collectively $5 billion fixing the price of bread, the big bread producers and corporate grocery stores. And the biggest penalty, based on the rules as they were written, was $50 million for Canada Bread Company, which is nothing given the fact that they collectively made $5 billion. That's what I'm talking about the deck being stacked against people. And the Liberals did nothing to fix that. I had to force them to bring in a law to make it illegal to price gouge. And you would think that would already be illegal, but it wasn't. So that's an example. An example of what we could do is we propose putting in a price cap on food essentials. So we think about things like baby formula, bread, things that are essentials, put in a price cap to lower the price of those things immediately. France has done it, other countries have done it, and it would lower the price of everyone's groceries immediately. That's something the Liberals, with Justin Trudeau, and Pierre Poilievre, the Conservatives, voted against. Pierre Poilievre himself has too many ties. His campaign director, his deputy leader, the chair of caucus are all too closely affiliated with big corporations to ever stop them from ripping people off. I want the laws to be fair. If big corporations break the rules, there should be serious penalties. Right now, there aren't. They can break the rules, rip people off, and they've got no consequence.
Okay, final two questions.
Sure.
Sellout Singh, when you hear that before your last name, we know who calls you that, Pierre Poilievre. What are your thoughts? How does that make you feel?
I think it's just another, this is the petty politics of Poilievre, right? To try to make fun of someone's name or to kind of make these silly games. And he knows that he's lying. He knows that we forced Justin Trudeau to bring in dental care. And what he wants to distract from people is the fact that despite having had publicly paid for dental care for most of his adult life, he doesn't want your parents, your grandparents to get their teeth looked after. He wants to strip that away from them. That's what he's trying to distract from. He wants to cut not just their dental care, he wants to destroy our healthcare system. He's very open. He wants it to be a private healthcare program where people pay for access. So that's going to be fine if you got lots of money, but for working class people, it's going to be pretty bad. So that's what he's distracting from, and he resorts to playing these silly games.
Last question. I want to leave this open for you to say something. You've had a lot of time to talk. You've said a lot of talking points. What's something that you have not put out there yet that you can share with us?
Well, I'm really looking forward to this next election because I know it's going to be a big fight, but I'm always ready for a big fight. I've always in my life been against the odds. People have always told me, it can't be done, it's not possible, you can't become a leader, you can't get elected. And I've always proven the naysayers wrong because I really believe in what I'm doing. I'm fighting for people. I'm fighting to make sure people can afford their groceries. I've lived some of those struggles. When I was younger, I know what it was like to worry about putting food on the table when my kid brother came to live with me when I was 20 in university, working minimum wage jobs to take care of him and myself. I know what those struggles are like. And I get offended when I see big corporations ripping people off and Liberals and Conservatives letting them do it. I'm here to fight for people. That's where I've always been. I've been a fighter my whole life. I'm going to fight now.
Okay. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. Mr. Singh, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and thanks for stopping by CP24. I appreciate it.